Hey guys, this is the Harbor Freight half-ton motorcycle lift. Uh, Picked up this lift about a month ago during their Father's Day sale for around $2.99. I think it normally retails about $4.29. It's a great standalone lift for amateur home hobbyist, or hell, I'd even say professional. It's a good, heavy-duty, strong lift. I've loaded my motorcycle onto and off of it several times since the week that I've had it. Comes pretty much ready to use out of the box. When you get it from Harbor Freight, they'll probably just bring it right out to your pickup truck. In my case, they had me pull around to the back of the store and they loaded it on with a forklift in box. And I got it home, unboxed it, pulled it off the back of the truck, and had one of my roommates help me lower it into here. And I just rolled it in. So I'll go over some of the finer points of the lift, a couple of things I think they may have needed to improve on or fix, but we'll get to that. So let's take a look at this thing. Alright, so like I said, the lift is pretty versatile and easily movable. You can see it's got one stationary wheel towards the back side right there, and there is a caster wheel on the other side. So you could easily lift it up, move it, shimmy it into position wherever you need to. You can probably also do it with a bike loaded on it. Probably wouldn't recommend it, but it's doable. There's also a leveling and stationary foot right there that you can see. You just kind of screw that down when you, well actually before you load the bike on, so the lift doesn't shimmy or move or tip over onto one side on you. One of the problems I originally had when I got the lift was that this little foot piece right here, there's a little C-clip that goes in between the bolt and the bottom of this foot. The C-clip had gotten bent out of shape and the foot wasn't holding on, but that ain't nothing. A little pair of needle nose pliers and a couple of whacks with a metal sledgehammer couldn't fix to straighten it out and bend it back into position. Let's see. You also notice there are about 4 different positions for fastening these U-bolts. You can see them on the left and the right side there. Those just go in through pre-drilled holes right into the bed of the lift. Again, one of the small issues I had was the threads on one of these guys. This is actually a little loose, but no big deal. The threads had gotten stripped or just weren't cut properly during the machining process. Anyway, the threads had gotten kind of stripped out and weren't lining up with the nuts. So I basically took a little tap and die set of mine and just recut the threads into those, and they fit together just fine. See, other thing is you've got a little access panel right here. This is what you use to access the hydraulics of the lift. Get you in a little closer and take a look at that. Alright, here's where you can take a closer look at the hydraulics of the lift. Just take the access panel off. Now, let me get you in a little closer to this. Alright, and there's basically the jack that lifts everything, your mounting point for the bottom of the jack. One of the major complaints I heard online when reading reviews was that they did not fill this jack with hydraulic oil. There's a little filler plug right here. Just pull this off with a Phillips head screwdriver. And Harbor Freight sells hydraulic and jack oil. It costs you about $2. That's about it right there. $2 for a 15-ounce bottle. I actually didn't even need it. It came pre-filled with oil in my case, so that was better safe than sorry on my point. One of the things to take note is when you put the access panel back on, you'll notice it has this lip right here. Now, I made the unfortunate mistake when I first put this thing back on. I put the lip facing the front side there. Now that's where you load your motorcycle on. And what I noticed was as soon as I got the front wheel onto the lift, it pried this up a tad and left me with a gaping hole back there. So, lesson learned, face your lip towards the front that way, so when your rear wheel hits on this thing, you don't have a giant hole that you have to navigate. Now let's take a look at the controls and everything else. Alright, controls are relatively straightforward. You've got your pump This is what pumps to the jack and lifts it up. And you got your release pedal, lets the pressure out. And this release pedal on mine is a bit of a hair trigger, because if you go, pump this up again. If you go right about, see, it takes a long stroke. Right about there is slow, and just about another 1/4 of an inch is almost full bore. So you want to be careful when you're raising and lowering it with the bike loaded on. Now the other thing that it comes with is a safety rod. Now this is for when you have the lift in a high position. There's 2 notches up under this spot right here. There's 2 notches that this will fit through, and you can let the pressure off of the jack. So I guess you save the seals on the jack when there's weight on it. And this will hold the lift in position. Now a lot of things I heard online were that the rod here would bend, it would break, it would not hold itself. I don't know what the hell they were doing, but unless they were overloading this thing past the 1/2 ton capacity, or they were getting up there and jumping on top of it, I haven't noticed much issue with mine. You can see the spots here. I don't think it would bend it. They made vast improvements in this lift since they first started selling it. So other than that, you got your front wheel lock assembly. It's not exactly the greatest, because you got a minor, it's probably 1/4, 1/8 inch, it's probably even 1/8 inch steel plate right here that bolts in, adjustable clamp. You can adjust this into 3 different positions. I have it in the frontmost position right now because of the old bike I have has relatively small tires to it. But you can move it back to this position, this position. I've also heard you can get custom wheel chocks from Harbor Freight. There's about 2 or 3 different models Harbor Freight makes that will work with it, with the current mounting holes in it. I haven't tried to get one yet, but probably look into that in the future. What I'm going to do now is probably get my bike loaded on here, get it strapped down, get it lifted up, and get done with the demonstration. Alright, so now I got the bike loaded on here. I'm going to pump it up and raise it up. Raise it up to the first notch position. Safety rod in. And just nudge it down gently. Like I say, use light foot pressure because that release valve is a hair trigger. I think that's how some of the people that said they bent it did it. They just mashed down on the release and let the thing slam down. But there it is. Nice and sturdy and strong. It's safe to work on. Hope you enjoyed the video.